Oh my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. Well, hello, I'm the ocean of deep woo. The ocean's deep woo. Yes, where we do the deepest woo. And tonight, I get to celebrate with you. I'm wearing my labyrinth eyebrows. Labyrinth makeup there. Oh my eyes. See? It's a buoy thing. Anyway. Well, that was a frickin' long 4 years, wasn't it? Oh, God, I'm glad it's almost over. Now let's just hope that everybody makes it to the finish line and beyond safely. You know what I'm talking about in the elections. Because there's still a lot of things we can't say. So we're not entirely free, are we? Yet. But I expect that to be changing. Because tonight I'm going to talk about what I see as the end of clown world. We're going to have a little bit of party. Clown world has been crazy, and it's been going on too long, way too long. And it started way back before this last couple of puppets, okay? But it's on its way out, I think. And there are people who will argue with me about this and say, oh, it's not that important and it's not blah, 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 blah. They're all actors and it doesn't matter. And they went on and on about how it can't be this and it can't, blah. And I'm like, for years now, I've been saying Trump has got 2 terms coming. And he hasn't done his 2nd term yet. So this is it. This is his 2nd term. So, was I right again? Last time, I said it looked like they both win and they both lose. I did it with the pendulum, and the pendulum, I said, oh, so, and the way I was asking, so Trump wins. Oh, okay, so Biden loses. No. Trump wins? Yes. Biden loses. No. Okay, Biden wins. Yes. Trump loses. No. What the heck was that about? Well, now we know. Right? But here we go. This time it was flat out. Trump's going to win. Trump is going to win. And there he is. Hello, Remy Slays. Try not to kill anybody while you're here, okay? Hey, Angel Wingies. Hey. Oh, you got contacted by George the Giant. Oh, that's interesting. Ooh. Hey, my solo hana. Yes, aloha. Biden probably voted for Trump too, yeah, because he hated commie at the end there. It was obvious. And they were not getting along because of the coup. I'm sorry, the coup. Cuckoo. They should have expected that. You know, oh, God, I told you they were going to stab each other. Was I right? I was so freaking right. I was so freaking right. I said, they're going to start stabbing each other in the back, and that's exactly what they did. Exactly. They didn't even think twice about it. They just stabbed old Joe right in the back, didn't they? Just, you know, just get out of here. Get out of here, dog. It's just, we need somebody younger. We need somebody that doesn't spill the beans. Somebody that, we can get the claw up the butt a little better and control them a little better. And they couldn't even do that with her. It's like they couldn't even keep control of her mouth because there's no brain attached. And it was just crazy, wasn't it? And everybody's looking at him going, this is somehow what's supposed to be running our country? I can imagine very many people going, like they're waking up in this horrible nightmare, looking around going, oh, oh, damn. What? Huh? Yeah. Oh, yeah, wokeism is on its way out. Wokey, the wokey brokey. Don't mess with my brain, my wokey brokey brain. I don't think it understands. Oh, it's going to break their wokey brokey brain. They have been melting down all day. I have been enjoying it. I will admit, I'm supposed to be all spiritual, and I'm supposed to be all spiritual and say, oh, well, we mustn't be so happy over their loss. It must be horrible, shocking. Hell no, I'm laughing my ass off. I told you so, bitches. Okay? I told you so. Oh my God. Don't cry for me, America. Yeah, Lewis. Oh God. Ah. Oh, will somebody block that person completely? One of my lovely mods just boot their ass. Although they'll probably keep hacking their way back in here because they just can't resist me. They're crazy about me. I got a troll, folks, for those of you who aren't here live and can't see. I got a troll who cannot resist me. I mean, they're in love. They are flat out in love. They cannot resist me. They cannot resist me, my charms. Here he is, Mr. Wonderful. There he is. There he is. Oh, you caught him in the middle of the bath. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Come here. Come here. Come. They want to see you. Yes. There you are. Okay. They want to see your beautiful face. Look how handsome that guy is. Look how handsome. Yes. How handsome and purry is he, and how shedding are you all over the black? Oh, yes. Yeah, he's turned my black sheets for Halloween, he's turned them all white. Where he's been laying because it's going to be long, hot summer. Except it's winter. What's going on here? What's going on? Okay, so people are kind of noticing it was a bloodbath last night. It was a bloodbath. The whole map was turning red, except for a couple of blue spots, which looked kind of like bruises. Oh, black and blue. Yeah, Vingies, we need to have you on. I might, depending on how things go, I might go off of YouTube and onto off of YouTube and on to StreamYard so I can let you in if you want to come in tonight. I can't let you in because this isn't StreamYard. This is, oh gosh, I got his hair in my eyes. Woo! My little fur buddy here. So I will be happy to. Hawaii is blue. Blue Hawaii. StreamYard, yes. So that I can let people in. I can't let people in by just leaving a link in here. So in regular YouTube, but if you want to later on, Carrie Lake got cheated. I didn't hear about that. You're gonna have to tell me. You know what? I hung around a little bit, and then I went to bed. And I said, you know what? I know he's gonna get it. They're gonna try some shit, but he's gonna get it. It was about 2 o'clock or something. Yeah, they already announced Trump won. But around 2 o'clock or so, it was kind of weird. We all were noticing, hey, they weren't getting the last results in a couple of states. It was like 98% of the votes were in, but they weren't calling it. And it was red, but they weren't calling it. And it's like, and you know what? They were trying. I know. I could hear the wheels. Oh my God! How do we spin this? How do we cheat now? How do we do it? We can't. We don't have enough. We don't have enough dead folks voting for that. How do we get all these dead folks' ballots gathered up in time to cheat? We can't. I could hear I could feel the panic. I could, them all turning to jello. And I'm like, I know what this is. They may try something, but it's so overwhelming. How are they going to explain it? Kerry should have won. Yeah, they probably threw that. They managed to throw that. Richard the Red, the non-ginger. Richard the non-ginger. He's red but not ginger. Just let's get it straight here. Let's get it completely correct. Not every red is a ginger. Although I am very gingery. I'm spicy. I'm a spicy woman. I'm a spicy girl. I'm a spicy meatball. I'm not a meatball. I'm not really a meatball at all. But anyway, what everybody say, ABC waited and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I'm a mystic spice. That would be my Spice Girl name. Mystic Spice. Psychic Spice. Well, ain't got no connection. Can't get it through. Where are you? I need to get my tablet just won't go online. It just won't. The Wi-Fi is on. Oh, why can't I? Okay, I may be connected again now. Then I can read your comments. Okay, it looks like maybe we fixed it, but I'll find out. Are we back online? Okay, just about time. Hokey smoky. Oh, and somebody else is calling it a bloodbath too. Those words came back to haunt them, didn't they? That bullshit about bloodbath came back to haunt them. Uh-huh. We'll show you a bloodbath. You remember, growing up, when your parents said, I'll give you something to cry about. You want to cry? We'll give you something to cry about. Mm-hmm. Lombardo was waiting for a DC bribe, right? It's like, hey, where's my money? What happened here? Nah, that isn't a woo. A new one, woo. Spy just comes in and acts like Buck. He's kind of pucked up. He's a puckered human being. Or actually, he's a dark elf, but that's something else. Ooh, maybe he's even an orc. Orc. 70% of Jews voted for Harris? Are they insane? What? Woo riders. Honestly. Oh my gosh. Oh my. Yeah, I cannot wait until Trump comes in and says, you know how Kami had the boss at her rally? The boss, Bruce Springsteen. He's a Steen. What the hell is he doing? But anyway, he really looked bad. He sounded bad too. He didn't sound good at all. He's not in good shape, but not aging well at all. But they pulled him out, dusted him off, threw him up there on stage, like that was going to do something. Nope. No. No. The real boss is going to come in January and say, you're fired. Yeah, we're all waiting. We're all waiting. And we know he's going to say it. He's going to say, you're fired. I'm waiting for him to say it. I nailed the election. I nailed it again. I nailed it in the election. I nailed it once again. Angel Wingies, do you want to come tell us about the giant either later tonight, or do we have to put aside some special time? What are you guys doing Friday? Because maybe we should give her a night to talk about this. I can probably do Friday night. Certain voters are counted. Yeah, only certain votes are counted. 70% of Jews voted. How does that happen? Aw. Now let me read the comments a minute. We did it, Brooke. That's right, we did. We did indeed, Brooke. By the way, Brooke, you've been here long enough that, there you go. There you go, Brooke. Yep. You know what? The Amish were going to kill it, and I knew that. Right, Lewis. I heard that. I heard that it was going to happen, that was going to happen. They did here too. They did here too. Hey, Kiki. Hey, Brooke. You're looking kind of blue, though. Hey, you're looking kind of blue. Um, Absolutely. It's all over again. Yeah, now the real work starts. We felt it. Of course I did. Of course I did, dear. Because I cannot stand the thought of FOMO as a hoe. I'm sorry. I just can't stand it. Couldn't stand it. Could not stand it. What I've been saying. No more FOMO as a hoe no more. Mofo. Ho no mo. She gotta go. Goodbye, Joe. And take the hoe, me oh my oh. For tonight we're gonna vote your ass away, oh. Mun your eye, that shit don't fly any day, oh. Or, son of a gun, we're gonna have fun with y'all both away, oh. That's right. That wasn't one of my best songs. It wasn't one of my best songs, but was kind of off the cuff there. And seeing as how I ain't got no cuffs, I ain't got no cuffs. So, it's off the cuff, not that great, but it was a song anyway. Now, don't you say that I never gave you nothing. Okay. We have 4 years. Yeah, only 4 years. Well, a lot can be done in 4 years. Look at what they did in 4 years. Who knew they could be that destructive in 4 years? But they were horrifically destructive, catastrophically destructive in 4 years. 4 years is enough to do a lot, let me tell you. Oi. You know what? And that's another thing is that we were all kind of getting that she looked oddly relieved not to be winning. And I'm like, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Oddly relieved. Oh, she just wants to sit around and she just wants to sit around and collect her vice presidential pay for the rest of her life. That's all. And she doesn't have to pretend anymore. She doesn't have to pretend. Well, I don't blame Chris and Cherie for being sad when I wasn't happy about it. However, I kind of felt like something like that they were going to fuck around with it. I said that they were going to fuck around with it, and they did. But, oh, aren't you guys cute? They sub to each other. Let me make sure I am sub to both of yours. Go to channel. I'll be right back. Oh, no, I'm not. Oh, okay. Well, I'm subbed now, sweetheart, okay? Kiki. Let me go to the channel and see. No, I don't have you either. Well, piss. I'll go over and sub you now. Sub you now. Okay. Yeah, she actually looked relieved. And it kind of made me wonder. Yeah, she just wants to drink and collect pay and maybe sleep with somebody else's husband. I made a real off-color joke. The Geos didn't want to get in trouble. I was at their stream that, you know, for a little bit. They had a stream, and I made the joke. Okay, my poll on heresy, you've heard me say. Spit, swallower, gargle. And considering that Chris already made the joke about her being called mamla, which I guess in Spanish can mean suck it, sucks or suck it. And and of course Scotty came up with answer D, which was she chugs. It is off color. If somebody doesn't like it, you know what? It's tough. This is not made for kids. This channel's not made for kids, okay? I don't have that down there as part of it. No, sir. I could make it, it's just for kids, they ask you, and it's like, no, it's not for fucking kids, okay? So if you're an adult, and this is upsetting you, you just keep scrolling. You can keep scrolling. But then Sherry looks at Chris and she says, that's an off-color joke. And I really want to make an off-color joke, give her an off-color joke answer. But I'm afraid to do it because I don't want to get a strike. Another strike, because we had so many strikes. And so she finally just said, okay, well, it's all a plan to pass it to, what's his name, Doug? Her husband. Something wild. And I'm like, yeah, they got the joke. Totally got it. So, she just wants to drink beer and collect her pay. No, she doesn't drink beer. You know she's a wino. Mm-hmm. Oh, she didn't even go on stage. Yeah, I heard that too. She didn't go on stage. Yeah, the way she slurs her words. She's probably drunk all the time anyway. Ah. We just had to get rid of her. Yeah. Oh God. And then Biden had to really make it scary by starting to bite children. Oh, Chloe, hi. How you doing? Whatever she's smoking was. Ask Hunter. Chloe, are you taking off? You just got here. Oh yeah, well, we're all garbage, racist, misogynists. Biting in the name of boom boom. He's coming to bite you. Like I said, they got to get him off the stage before he goes full on Hannibal Lecter Chomo. I'm not kidding. Because is sooner or later he's going to forget that he's in public. And he's going to do something that he does in private. He's already starting to do things that he does in private. They better get him off the stage. Whoa. Yep. The View was upset. I still have to look at that. Yeah, I bet they were. Oh God, I was having so much of. Oh, I was eating popcorn, salting it with liberal tears. Yes. Oh, those salty tears. Those salty tears. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you know how his dog was biting people for a while? Yeah. No, he bit like about 4 kids. And they had pictures and they had some video, but then it got scrubbed from the net right away. Like, people were going, oh, but I can't find it now. I was like, that's because they scrubbed it. Right before an election, he started biting babies. Come on. Oh, oh my God. Oh, these guys are nuts. Ruby was living. Oh, I gotta see that. Somebody send me a link. Some of your friends were sad. Oh, they'll get over it when things get better. Oh, you had to watch. Yeah, I want to watch. I want to see him have a total hissy fit. They just meltdown, collapse. You know, poor old Whoopi. I was thinking, boy, gee, I hope she doesn't have an infarct over it. I may not like her, but I don't want her to die over it. But the blood pressure, she's going to be on blood pressure meds after this, probably, if she ain't already. Oh, she threatened to leave America. Oh, I wish she would. Now, don't worry, a lot of them are going to be leaving America. A lot of famous people are already leaving America. Yeah, but to places where it's going to be expensive to extradite them because they don't want to be extradited. For the Diddy trial and other stuff that's coming up. Because there's more of that coming up. That's what I see in the future. I see a lot more of that, a lot more. There's going to be heads a-rolling all over the place. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Keep those heads a-rolling. Though those heads were swollen, rawhide. Friends just for weather. They'll all roll together. If they don't do the sewer blank. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, the whole freaking bunch of them on The View can leave America. Please, please, will you please? Or at least leave? At least leave? Leave the airwaves? Leave the interwebs? Just leave. We'd love you to do that. Absolutely love it. But they're so much fun. No, you know what? They're going to be fun to watch. They're going to be fun to watch. Russell Simmons. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, rumble.com. Hang on. I do have Rumble. Just once. Okay. So I'll get that. I'll bookmark it on a Rumble. Rumble. Okay. They're going out of the country. Yeah, they are. Satanist. Oh, a Satanist. Oh, I see. Yes. Trump surfing. Everybody's learning how. Come on, Trump surfing with me. Do, 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 do. Trump surfing, baby. Yes, we're in a good timeline. We all felt it hit, remember? I told ya. And everybody that's with us is in the good timeline. And don't worry, the trolls are going to be falling away because pretty soon we're going to be vibrating so high that they won't be able to hold on. They won't be able to hold on to us. It's going to be over soon, that bullshit. Take me down to Paradise City where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Oh, won't you please take me home? Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yep. We're in a real good... It's gonna be... Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't get that much sleep. But I heard another psychic saying, and a couple of them saying, no, it's not going to, but I know that everybody wants me to say that it's going to get better, but it's not going to get better. It's like, yes, it is going to get better. It's going to get better for me. And if you're paying attention to what I'm telling you, it's going to get better for you. It's going to get better for us. Maybe it won't get better for everybody. So maybe it won't. It's all up to you, baby. What's your energy like? Where's your energy? You will decide. Just because things happen doesn't mean it has to happen to you. Yeah, there are going to be some bad things happening to some people. Oh, there sure are. Oh, yeah. There are going to be some very bad things happening to some people. But that doesn't mean it has to happen to you. You don't have to be some people. You can be on an entirely different timeline of your own. Step up or step out. Yeah. Yes, thank you, Brooke. You are too, baby. You're now you're now really officially part of the crew, love. Okay? All you in blue are part of the crew. So, if you're with me, you're going to the higher timeline, right? You have chosen to go to the higher timeline. And that's going to be your our solo hunt, and that's going to be the next phase. Is we're going to climb even higher. Just watch. We're going to climb into such a nice new timeline, and it's going to be tough for some folks, but it doesn't have to be tough for you. Just remember that it doesn't have to be tough for you. You do not have to take part necessarily. You can shove that timeline on up. You can vibrate out of the negative one, because we had like a 50-50 split for a while, but I had my heart set on it, my mind set on it, my energy all set on, oh fuck no, I am not living in a Harris future. I am not living in the wokey brokey future. No. I will absolutely. But it kind of forced us to do that. It forced us to really step up and make it happen. Right? We need to come go surfing with me, da da da, do 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 do. Okay, yeah, our future's so bright we're gonna have to wear shades. Hi, how you doing, Taras? 16 to 17. She thinks we're tweaking. That's a silly thing to think, though. Why do you think we are tweaking? You mean why are we happy? Because we live in America, where where the right thing finally happened. Nobody's tweaking. You gotta wonder about people. Yeah, there ain't no tweakers, honey. You gotta go to a different. You gotta go to a different time. You gotta go to a different channel. Yeah, we don't do that here. We don't, homie, don't play that. Uh, oh, okay. Pacalolo princess. Yeah, well, they don't understand. It's okay. They don't belong here, though. You know, if you don't belong here, you don't belong here. You don't. So, if you don't belong here, plenty of channels to go to. I mean, you know, if you're ready, you are ready, and if not, you're not. I mean, not everybody's ready. Not everybody's ready. Let them stay asleep. It's okay. Yeah, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Exactly. Exactly, Hook. Exactly. So, what are we going to do next, huh? What are we going to make next? But you know, I was listening to somebody talk about how they know that the weather, they did, that their group worked on the weather. We did too. And I just wrote a little blurb on there, under their video saying, you know, because the question, one of the questions was, well, who are the white hats? There you go. Who are they? You know who I think they are? I think we qualify. We are civilian white hats. We are the civilian white hats. You know, and I realized that when, and I think it was Rex Bear was saying, oh, we know, it was David Wilcock. He said, we know that the white hats somehow got control of the weather machines because it finally rained in California, and, you know, and I'm there. I did that. I was there when we did that. We did that on Rex's show, in fact. I was there. Of course, I could have done it by myself. I have done it. Actually, I sent plenty of rain to California. But the problem is that people were not asking for it the right way. I said, make it nice and gentle and steady, not hard, so that it doesn't cause a mudslide. But people, you know, mudslides in people's houses washing away and floods and stuff. People, be careful what you ask. Please. You know, so, you know, and ask for it to be a highest and best vibe, you know, for it to go where it's needed. Try to direct it a little better than just say rain like cats and dogs. No, that isn't gonna, that's gonna wash some people away. You don't want that. Okay. So, helicopters last night Where? Yeah. Ah. Malibu and other areas. Oh. Shouldn't talk about what? Government? Oh. Well, I don't say too much about it, except we wanted out from under clownworld. Well, we're out from under it now. Or we're gonna be. Now we just gotta ask for protection for everybody to make it to the finish line and be able to do their job. But as far as beautiful things happening next year, we're going to have many wonderful things happening next year. Yeah, we got to be careful how we talk, but you know, I am humor. I can get by with a lot of stuff under the heading of humor and farce. So I can argue that my show is humorous and I make jokes. So, yes, I said that. Remember, I said that was going to happen? You're going to see more and more UFOs. People are going to see more and more, more and more and more. And it's going to get more and more and more common until it's very common. Yep. Lewis. You know, they're going to have to go over that themselves. UFOs are a threat to democracy. They might be, actually. I don't know. But possibly not to a free republic. They may not be. Beautiful things are happening next year. Oh, yeah, we have a lot of them. I'm quite sure that we have quite a lot of them up there by now. Yeah. So, next year's gonna be really turning a page. And you know what? It's true. People wanted to turn the page, but it wasn't the page that they thought. They were saying, we want to turn a page. It's like, yeah, you're right. We want to turn a page, but not the page that you want to turn. I'm sorry, but if you're not reading at our speed, at our level, you're going to have to get your own book, lady. Like the eyebrows, labyrinth eyebrows. Okay. One of these days, I got the wig somewhere too. One of these days I'll show up with the wig. Dumbs under Area 51, yeah, and there are dumbs, I think, a lot of places. Well, you know what? Huh. Here is, here's the thing. I think Area 51 is almost, it's almost like a bait and switch thing. I don't think there's really very much there anymore. They moved, supposedly, if the scoop is correct, they moved a lot of stuff to Wright-Patterson here in Ohio, which would explain why things got so freaking weird around here. I mean, Ohio is weird to begin with, but then you move some shit from Area 51 to Wright-Patterson, and yeah, it's going to get weird in Ohio. And that may be why we have so much phenomena. I mean, and it's funny because me and Yolana saw all of this stuff hanging in the sky. all of this stuff that's unexplained. We counted at least a dozen things just hanging around in the sky. Not round either, no, these were like tubes with to look like some kind of aerial coming out the top. Just hanging around in the sky overhead. And I'm like, and then there was another and another and another, and it's like all of a sudden there. I counted, and it was hard to see because with the silvery stuff in the sky, it hides them. So that's why that's part of the reason why they're putting the silvery stuff in the sky is because they turn the sky all kind of silvery and you can't see what's up there. So, oh, you got to share your dragons more in the physical? Yes, I did that to somebody once and I remember their reaction. They're like, there actually is something in my hand here. I said, yeah? Did you expect there not to be? And they're like, you know, how you see some videos where they have all the figures in the dial-up sound? That's what it looked like. It kind of looked like that. But yeah, when we do something like that, and it's actually they actually are experiencing something, and they know they are. They're like, they get this look on their face, like, holy cow, there really is something there. Yeah, yeah. Yuppies. Hoo, 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 hoo. Brum, 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 brum. Yeah, there's sleepers all over the place. That's okay. Ah, just got your telescope put up and then it took off. Ah, that's funny. Yes, everybody's noticing time speeded up. Lots of people mention that in some different um, paranormal type discussions. A lot of people are noticing that time is flaky as hell right now. It's going to get flakier. It's going to get even flakier. Time is not even real. Okay? It's not. It isn't real. It's an artificial construct. Eventually, it's not going to be very important. Do you know what? One of the things that will help you to age much slower, or maybe not at all, is quit believing that you have to. And quit believing that you're going to die. I mean, people act like death is inevitable. I don't believe that. I don't believe that we have to even die to get out of here. Some people will fight me on that, but I've been right about so many things. And for many years now, I've been saying, I don't believe that I'm going to have to die to get out of here. I think I'm going to be able to just leave one day. Oh yeah, hiding behind clouds. God, they're always hiding behind clouds. Yeah. Oh dear. If you're dealing with a lot of paranormal stuff in your house, yeah, look to the people you're living with. I'm so glad I live alone. I live alone. I have been wanting to live alone. You know what? Honestly, all the time that I've lived with people, I always wish that I could live alone. But sometimes I couldn't afford it. And it was like I had to live with somebody. But I didn't like it. Oh, something is really... Oh, that's right. I have my window open. So probably I've got some kind of pollen coming in. So don't mind me. Yeah, you need to put some Brooke. You need to put some selenite and black tourmaline up in your room. Get rid of it. That's right. Everything is really happening at once. Time is just our little filing system. Yeah, quit believing in aging. You don't need to believe in it. Oh, you keep switching dimensions. Me too. Yeah. Yeah. Trying to find a new job to get a piece of your own what, honey? Do you need some selenite or stuff? Do you need some crystals? We can do that. We can help you. Even if you don't have a whole lot of money, you can get... Well, first of all, if you have like a couple of bucks, you can get selenite now for, you can get... Gosh, we were just down at the farmer's market. They got a crystal shop down there in Hartville. Jason just picked up 10 sticks for like $3. That'd be enough to grid your place. You don't need them to be huge. You can get them off Temu. You can get like 10 sticks for couple of bucks, couple or $3. Selenite's very cheap, fortunately, which is good because we use selenite for everything else. I mean, selenite charges and cleanses everything else. um, yeah, you don't. Yeah, check out Temu. Use my link, please. If you need me to, Brooke, I will send you the freaking link, or I will put the link that I use to get them. I'll find you a cheap, help you find a cheap set of stuff. You can get a whole freaking bag of black tourmaline, little black tourmaline stones for like $2 or $3 too. Neither of these are expensive stones. That's the cool thing. You can put them all over the place. You can give them to people that need them. You can, they're cheap enough that you can actually give them away or just do stuff that you need to do with them. Leave them as a gift for the Sasquatch. I might do that. um, yeah. Cause yeah, I think I spent like $5 total on sticks of selenite and tourmaline for this place. Enough for this place, but this place is already gridded. But it was enough for this place, but I got more things that I want to do. I want to make some jewelry and stuff. And so the black tourmaline, but I got a whole bag. I'm wondering if I got it sitting around here. Do I have it sitting here or somewhere? I got a shitload of tourmaline now. Bag. I got basically a bag this like this big of tourmaline for very little. Just plain tumbled tourmaline. So very cheap. Now, if you want a really pretty nice piece, that's different. It's going to cost more, but you don't need that when you're just using it for gridding and stuff, or to put in a charm bag, or to put in a spell, or. Oh, by the way, I'm going to be doing a little bit of spell work videos. They're just because I don't do very much spells anymore. I don't really need to. Intention works really well, but if you need something to focus on, spell work can work. And I could recommend for a good start is like stones and candle magic. But you got to be careful. Your intentions, you got to have your intentions set right before you do anything, please. You can do all kinds of crazy things to yourself too. You know, if you're yeah. Yeah, Sasquatch love the energy of the crystals, I'm sure. I got that's right. I gotta get some black tourmaline. I wanted to leave him some black tourmaline and I haven't done that yet. I'm gonna be doing that. Gotta drag out. I gotta find out what I did with my bag of black tourmaline because I had a big bag of black tourmaline. And I had some shungite too. You can get shungite, tumbled shungite stones. Pretty cheap too these days. So, yeah. Sage, they got sage on Timu. They got sage, they got Palo Santo, they got dragon's blood, they got myrrh, they got copal. They got all kinds of stuff. You can get all kinds of stuff on there now. They got so many magical supplies and stuff on there. Tarot cards, everything. Crystal balls, tarot cards, crystals of every variety. Um, they've got oils. They've got spellwork candles, which you can get. I found like 20 spellwork candles for like $5 or something at one place. Now they're not big ones. They're not like great big, but you don't need them to be big to do spell work. Actually, you need them bigger than birthday candles, but smaller than regular candles. Just small candles, regular, like about that size, is all the bigger you really need for spell work. Okay, like about as tall as your finger is just about fine. Okay, and they got them on because when you're doing a spell, you got to wait for the candle to burn down. If it's too long, it takes too long. If it's too short, it's just like it's over too quick to finish. So what you want to do is have about as long as your finger, and actually about that big around too, is what they are, and that's perfect. Sage, well, yeah, the Native Americans use it, and yeah, it helps. I don't think it does completely, though. I think a lot of it is you. I would say you get the sage and you do the sage, but then you get the selenite and the black tourmaline to back it up. Once you get the shit out of your area, you don't want it to come back. So then you you grit it with the sage or with the tourmaline and the selenite. So yeah, some things it seems to help better than others. It is changing though. You know what? I hate to say, but some things seem to be changing their effectiveness. Sage used to be more effective. It seems to be a little less effective now somehow. Or maybe, well, something's changed. But I haven't used it in a while. I've been using crystals. I haven't used sage in a little while. Some people get very good. Maybe it works different for different people. I have been working with crystals more because it's easier. I get myself. I only paid, these are great. These are great. I was at a gym show and I got 3 huge pieces of selenite for $1 a piece. Yeah, look at those. $1 a piece. Pretty good deal. And they're pretty clear. They're pretty nice and clear. I don't know if you can tell, but they are. And good quality, very good quality. I'm very happy with that purchase. So what I'll do is I'll take a selenite wand and you'll see me, it's kind of like it's similar to smudging. How does that feel to you? To me, I can feel this when I do that with intention. I'm clearing things. I can clear things with this. So it kind of depends on you. Well, Hook, yeah, it can. Depends. Depends on if her sister has a spirit. If your sister has a hitchhiker. Well, that's the value of going to, if you can get to a gym show, a nice gym show. Usually they have places where you can, like this was at the silent auction. Oh, the silent auctions are great. You can get pieces of stuff that, you know, you can get unusual things at a gym show auction. I love our gym show, our local gym show. It's wonderful. You can get, what else did I get there? Oh yeah, these things here. I'll show you some of them. I got all of these. These were in a great big bin, and I was just so happy going through this tray, this big tray, that if you picked out 12, you could get all 12 for $10. And I borrowed some money because look at the size of the piece of the red coral. Red coral ain't that cheap. Okay, some really nice honkin' big pieces of red coral to make my jewelry with. I make a lot of jewelry. A cute little mushroom. Out of it looks like red agate. A cute little amethyst, smoky and, whoa, well, on the floor now. Smoky and amethyst quartz. I'll have to get that. A couple of pieces, a random piece of, this is amber. This is tiger eye on a little dangle thing there. Okay, so I mean, these things are all things that I can really use. A piece of, a moon, a little amethyst moon. So, and then, yeah, these great big pieces. I was really amazed. These great big pieces of coral that I'm going to make a really nice necklace with. If you... Oh. Oh, and you find really unusual, weird shit like this. This is a tiger eye, but it has a vein of something in it. You can see there. Something sparkly. And I'm not sure what it is, but it's sparkly. So it has like a stripe of something else. It's kind of sparkly. It's kind of cool looking, I think. So so I had me some fun. It makes me happy. But yeah, I couldn't believe these huge pieces of coral. Wow. Looks like a witch finger, doesn't it? And get you, my pretty. Lewis, I saw something you would have liked on Timu. It had the Wicked Witch, and it had her shadow with her hands out. But the only color you saw, and it was all in shadows, the only color you saw was her green hands in front of the shadow coming out of her sleeves. And then the shadow of the Wicked Witch. It was so cool. Very well done on a shirt. I thought it was very artistic. You probably would have enjoyed that. Let's see. Well, yeah, but it would only cleanse her. It wouldn't hurt her. Sage wouldn't hurt her, honey. I don't know about that. It didn't get rid of my protection. Is that the effect it has for you? Huh. Yeah, don't play into the fear. Just don't. From pink to blue. Oh. They were trying to give me nightmares for the longest time. They just turn out creepy, but not really fearful nightmares. I got the message that they were trying that would have been a horrendous nightmare if I hadn't been doing work on myself. So somebody was trying to send me nightmares, but I transformed that. Hey, Mary Wins, how you doing? Hang on a minute, you guys. Okay, uh, I'll ask. Okay, hang on. Okay. Mm. I'm hearing something. I'm going to try and do my best here. Is somebody is saying, "Dear ones, we celebrate with you and share your joy at your it, this is a feeling that I'm getting, not a word. This is a feeling. At your assertion of your will and your victory." And the way is being cleared for greater contact to be made. First contact has already been made, but the way will now be opened for greater contact. Many wonderful surprises await you in your future. Keep up the good work. Be of good cheer. We look forward to meeting you face to face. Your thoughts and your vibrations, the level of which have been rising, the frequency, it's more the frequency, are making it much easier for us to communicate, much less troublesome for the connection to be made. The confusion and fear were huge barriers, as was aspects of your government. Instigating incidents of fear, anger, rage, division, sowing division. As that becomes less common, it will be so much easier for us to connect. We're your star brothers and sisters. We're from many nations, many worlds, many places, and many times have we known you in many lives. And we all perceive you as family. And we will be so happy to finally be able to openly meet you face to face. But we're going to approach this very cautiously. We don't want to frighten anybody. That would be a step in the wrong direction. We are from many races. Some of us look quite different from you. But we can see that many of you have been preparing yourself and actually should do quite well. But the time it's taking is largely due to caution and also not wanting to disrupt or cause any more fear than there already has been. All counterproductive. We will be speaking with people on an individual basis for now, or in very small groups, and expand with time as people become more comfortable. But you will see us in your sky. You will see us in your sky more and more. And when you do, take heart. We are here on your behalf and by your request. Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Much love. Mahalo. Well, that's interesting. They said, and I heard it very clearly, mahalo. Ooh, isn't that cool? Can I get a name? Andros. Andros? Well, that's unusual. I don't usually get names. Andros, where are you from? Telluria. Telluria. Does anybody know anything about Tellurians? Is this somewhere? Lyria. Is this somewhere in the vicinity of Lyra? Where Lyra was? Hmm. Interesting. Andros from Tellurian. Are you on a ship now? Yes. Are you near my apartment? Yes. You know who I am then. You know me and I don't. Okay. Andros. From Tellurian. Okay, I'm going to look that up and see if I can find anything about Tellurian. Oh, he says, yeah, the Tellurian has something to do with the Lyra. It's something like Lyria. Lyria, Telluria, Lyria, Telluria, 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 something like that. Andros. He says you can call me Andros. So that's not actually, well, they don't have the same kind of names as we do. They don't use names quite the way that we do. But we can call him Andros. Okay. From Tellurian. Cool. Hope I remember that. Yeah, I think that's towards the central sun, more closer to the central sun. Do you have others on your ship? Are you in a ship then? And do you have others? Yes. Yes. An assortment? Yeah, I'm getting that they have an assortment of types of people. And they're all relatives of ours. Oh, is there anything else you want me to say? Anything you want me to talk about? I'm not hearing anything more. Well, thank you. Ah, it just came in. We'll be in touch. We'll be in touch. Okay. Nice meeting you, Andros. Cool. I wonder what Tellurians look like. Maybe I'll have to ask him next time. From beyond the Pleiades, Lyra towards the central sun. Yeah. Oh, they may look nothing like us then. Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to trust sometimes that I really am getting a name or information. I still sometimes fight with myself a little bit about that. My eye is watering. My eye's been watering for a while. I don't know what's going on. My little left eye. Oh, wow. maybe something is going on because the left one was the one. Um, okay, I'm going to tell you a story. I've told it on this channel before. Long, long time ago when I was married, we had our own house, and I had this very strange dream that I know now was not a dream. It seemed very, very real. And I come down the stairs, and I'm so surprised to find a bunch of aliens standing in my living room, grays. And my husband, what looks to be my husband, I don't think it was necessarily, either it wasn't really my husband or it it might have been somebody disguised as my husband, or it would have been my husband under control or something. I don't know what was going on there, but I was standing there and trying to make sense of what was going on. And he said, just hold still. And he had some kind of a tool in his hand. And he put it up and actually into my eye, into my eye socket. And then I blanked out. And that's where that ended. So they did something to my left eye. And my left eye bothered me for a long time. And it has an astigmatism. So something did happen to that eye. But I don't know what. It's never been fully explained. So maybe it's watering for a reason. I don't know. Uh, okay. But yeah, I never forgot that. That was quite, you know, later on, I'm thinking, was that really a dream? I don't think it was. I don't think there was a dream at all. I think there was a memory. And I think that was an implant. And I know the left eye has significance. So, you know, something must be going on. Maybe that thing is trying to clear out whatever that is. Okay. So, anyway, yeah, I don't know what to think of my husband. My ex-husband. I think he was either taken over or maybe he wasn't human when I married him. I don't think he was, actually. I'm kind of thinking he probably wasn't. So much happened with him. It's the reason I finally had to leave. I don't go into that too much. It's kind of dark days. I don't really want to go into that too much. Kind of dark. No need for that. Yeah, sometimes they change a lot. But I hear that clones are often mean. When they take somebody and send in a clone, this is just scuttlebutt. I have no way of proving it one way or the other, knowing for certain. But it is said that clones are not very nice. They have a tendency to be angry and a lot, and so many people say they were fine before the accident. Well, the accident was where you got the insert, where sit in the clones. So So I don't know. My husband had a rare disease. Inherited. You couldn't catch it, but he didn't want to have children because he didn't want to pass it down, but he had to go in for tests. He had to go all the way to Columbus for tests on a regular basis so they could see how, how he was doing. And he told me that part of the test was it involved electricity. And I sometimes wonder what was really going on with him. So, Brooke, it wouldn't surprise me. In fact, wouldn't it be funny if Whoopi Goldberg was too? If all of the View were just clones, that's why they're so awful. Wouldn't that be something? Send in the clones. No kidding. Clone World. Maybe Clown World is actually Clone World too. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe Clown World is Clone World. Yeah, it makes sense that they aren't real people, doesn't it? Kind of. That some of these people aren't really people. I don't think Kamal is. I don't think Joe is. They've got. Somebody had um, a meme that they made. All the different Joe imposters. There were about 6. And you could tell by looking at him, it was an entirely different person. The Joe that we see here now, that isn't the same Joe. It isn't the same guy. Absolutely not. They look entirely different. They um, they think they can pass somebody off when they're older. Oh, people change when they're older, but there's some things that don't change. You know, I mean, there are some things that you keep no matter how old you get. Yeah, some of them it's very obvious they don't look like him, like he used to look. I mean, when you really see them together, you can see they're very different. So I don't think we ever had actual Joe Biden in the office anyway. Just either an actor or a clone or something. And it wouldn't surprise me because that would then explain why he doesn't know anything about his own past. But he doesn't know anything about Joe Biden's life because he didn't live Joe Biden's life. Maybe he was talking about his own past. Maybe that's where the lies, it's like maybe the lies were true in his life. I don't know. Yeah, they're not, clones are not as strong as we are, and part of the reason is they are artificially aged. When they age them artificially, they don't get the same kind of stress that we get from the process of growing up, which makes us stronger. That's part of the problem. They also don't last as long because the telomeres are already cut back, are already dissolved, partly dissolved. Oh, Emery, yeah, Emery, one of David Wilcock's finds, basically. I remember him, yeah. He studied tissue samples. He was working with tissue samples and was afraid for his life because he was speaking out. I guess he had a pretty scary job. Pretty cool job until it got scary. Wow, now it's really watering. Yeah. Yeah, that's Emery. I can't think of his name. One of Wilcock's friends. So, if he can be believed, I mean, you know, maybe some of it, maybe not all of it. We won't know for a while yet how much of it we can believe of all of it. But yeah, there I've heard it before that clones are not as strong, and they've explained why. So that that's part of the reason they don't last as long. When you take a clone of somebody, the telomeres have already been worn down. That's one problem. Another problem is, yeah, you'd have to soak them in telomerase to make them um, youthen, so to speak. But in order to artificially age them, there's a process, and it's derived from people who have that aging disease. There's a disease that makes you age unnaturally fast. And so that's what they use, and the problem with that is it also gives you other problems. So the clones are not as strong as real people. That is what they say. I don't know. I'm not in that field. Yeah, it is. I mean, I hung on every word of that for a while. I really wanted to know, and I was really trying to discern. I mean, Corey Good and Emery, was it Emery Smith, David Wilcock? But all those people have been compromised to a certain extent, and I know David Wilcock has, for sure. Corey Good, for sure. Emery Smith, probably. So, are they telling some truth, or have they in the past? Maybe. Maybe. Yeah, probably. Some truth. Is it corrupted now? Probably. Yeah, I feel they have been corrupted, but because David switched on a few subjects. He was really going down the right path, and then all of a sudden he did a U-turn, and it's like something happened to him on a few subjects, you know? And then it was like, no, he had already figured that out. Now he's acting like he doesn't know. Something happened to him. Probably something happened to all of them. I mean,
If they can't disappear them and maybe they seem useful, maybe they just give them their story, implant a story in their mind, a narrative. And they give it to people, and then that's the narrative. So I don't know. Sukalos, Giorgio Sukalos. Somehow, I thought he might be your favorite, Lewis. I don't know why. And maybe some of it was. We don't know how much of what they were saying was true. I don't know now. I really suspect that the easiest way to lie to people is to tell them a whole lot of truth around a big lie. The easiest way to get people to accept a lie is to tell them a whole lot of truth around it. Hide it in there, the lie. So then we've got to be discerning as to what's the truth and what's not. What part of that is the truth. You get to do some practice discerning. Linda Moulton Howe has bigger balls than most guys. I swear she does. She has been covering that scene for decades. And you have to be pretty damn brave with what she's seen. She's seen a lot of stuff and had to be very, very brave. I tell you, she's a brave woman. And she went through a lot. People really raked her over the coals, called her a drunk, called her crazy. Same way. Yeah. You eyes. You eyes? Oh, you turns? You mean just change? U-turns, yeah. Uis. I get it, Uis. Yeah, gotta be careful of everything now. It's not gonna be a cakewalk, okay, in some ways. We're gonna have to be careful and discerning. Use our powers of discernment. Yes, I agree. We will. We'll have to do that. We will have to use our powers of discernment. We will have to keep our eyes open. It's no time to let down on the vigilance, okay? Because now, is going to be the real death throes, right? Of the beast. They're going to be in the real death throes. And there are going to be all kinds of people that are supposedly on our side that are going to try and convince us of things. But if you try to convince me that our future is not bright and we're in a lot of trouble and we're going to go into tribulation and blah, 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 it's like, no, we're not. Well, I'm not. Maybe you are. I'm not. And my nose is stuffy. Yeah, I'm sneezing. Yeah, something's up. Something's up my nose. It ain't cowboy. Ain't little cowboy. Oh, I gotta show you. He's too adorable. Here.
This will lower your blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
This is helping with your health right here, your mental and physical health. That's very healing. Kitty cat. Kitty cat, mew mew doo mew doo doo. Kitty cat, mew mew doo doo doo. Yep. You love that love, don't you? Look how much hair. Oh, now my hands go be all hairy. I'm about to sneeze a bit. Something's trying to clear out of me. Oh yeah, now I can breathe real well, but I'm sneezing. Hey baby, what a sweet little cake you are. Look at that sweet boy. Look at that sweet boy, he's so sweet. Mommy loves you. You just want everybody to love you, don't you? You just want all kinds of love. He's got his pillow, his cowboy pillow behind him there. He loves to sleep on that thing. He puts his head on that thing like a human being and sleeps on it. I've got a picture of it in our group tab. It's so cute. Eric von Däniken is a good author and researcher. He is. He is a darling boy. He is a darling little boy. Yeah, Dr. Greer. Dr. Greer's had his life threatened on many occasions, so he's not... He's kind of a tough guy, too. That's why he's all built up and has the muscles. He had to get very tough in order to survive all of the attempts on his life. And he actually had some of his team die. So... Yeah, they say stuff about Stephen Greer being compromised too, but I don't know. Stephen Greer's a pretty tough guy. Although, yeah, Dave from SOR keeps saying that he wanted like thousands of dollars to come on the show. So Dave doesn't like him to come on Dave's show. Denise Lynn. I don't know who Denise Lynn is, though. That's interesting, Kiki. And find out who you were. You know what? I'm not even that interested anymore in who I was. I used to be. But it doesn't matter anymore. to me. It just doesn't matter. Somehow it just doesn't matter anymore. I think I'm kind of done with caring about who I was. Unless it pertains to a specific issue I'm dealing with right now. I think that's the only time I'm going to care about that. Cool. Dolores Cannon, great researcher. Rest in peace, Dolores Cannon. But I'm sure she's not. I'm sure she's not resting. She may be in peace, but I'm sure she's not resting. Because they seem to be quite lively over there on the other side, and if ever anybody was going to be lively on the other side, it would be Dolores. Okay? I can see Dolores probably busy doing a lot of things on the other side. So, she did some very groundbreaking work, and we owe her a lot of thanks for all her work. Yep, she's still working. You know what? I think many of us will be on the other side as well. Just because you're dead doesn't mean you can't do good. You know, David is still working. David, Freddie, Prince, all of them are still doing stuff. Janis Joplin is still doing stuff. She visited the other day. Surprised me. Hadn't seen her in a while. But Janice is still working. She's still doing stuff. Um, everybody. Everybody's still doing stuff over there. So, they're all busy. Living their afterlives. Isn't that weird? Sounds like a good thing to do. Unlocking karmic patterns and releasing, yeah, all the karmic stuff, ancient pattern, or unlocking ancient, releasing old karmic stuff. Yeah. See, I've been doing a lot of releasing of old karmic stuff on my own. I've been doing a lot of that, and we have to do a lot of that to get ready to make the jump. That your sister came to you in a dream and told you had to go, so since she wanted to visit the Colosseum. Is she passed on? Oh, okay, now it makes sense. You're afraid of, I get it. You're afraid of smudging your sister away. Because you don't want to smudge your sister away accidentally. But she can come back. I mean, if you do accidentally do that, you can call her back. It's not like you're going to hurt her. Okay, yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Um, I mean, a lot of these things, oh gosh, this eye's really, really moving. Um, you can call her back. That's what sweet grass is for. And I think Palo Santo, but sweet grass is to call in the sweet spirits. So,
But a lot of this, please let me emphasize, a lot of this has to do with your intent. It has to do with your intent. So what are your intentions when you are doing something? And always ask for the highest and best good. Always ask for help with it. If you're not sure what you're doing, you have guides that are standing around waiting to help you out, but they need you to ask them. Everybody forgets to ask them. Yeah, Sweetgrass calls them back in. Call the sweet spirits in. So, but then you got to be prepared for spirits. So, yeah, get your head clear before you do any kind of magic workings at all. Get your head clear, do some meditating, do some earthing, do some energy work to get yourself all in alignment. Otherwise, yeah, you can you can fuck things up. It's not like most things are reversible. I mean, most mistakes you will make, you can fix. You know, not permanent, but some things are kind of hairy if you get them wrong. So you want to be careful. I will say, if you decide to go into spell work, don't start with a love spell. Oh my God, when those go wrong, they are so bad. Okay? It's bad. If a love spell goes wrong, it's bad. Those can really go wrong. Badly wrong. And when they do, they they can really fuck up lives, okay? I just tell people be careful. Don't curse other people unless you're prepared. That stuff can come back and hit you, and even though there are ways around that, stuff can still eventually, you know. Tapping, trying to get a hold of you. The tapping is a spirit trying to get a hold of you generally. My mother, I'll tell you the story about my mom. It's funny. After she died, I didn't know she had died yet. They hadn't told me. She was in a nursing home, and I hadn't gotten word yet. And I kept hearing this thing that sounded like somebody dropping a ping pong ball on my ceiling. And it'd be like 3 knocks, but it'd have such a weird sound to it. I thought somebody upstairs was doing something. Like, what the heck is that? Bong, bong, toon, 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 toon. And later on, after I found out she died, I said, Mom, was that you? And she said, yeah. Because I saw her when she was standing beside her casket when I went to the viewing. And I said, Mom, was that you then knocking? She said, yeah. And I said, well, why were you like knocking like that on my ceiling? And she says, knock 3 times on the ceiling if you want me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, she was a big fan of Tony Orlando and Dawn. That's her sense of humor. Okay, that's my mom, all right. Yeah, okay, you are my mom. That's a fact. Okay, so oh, then don't do it. Well, that's okay. If you're not doing it, if you're just doing it to attract love and not on a specific or at a specific person, that's okay. If you're just doing a love spell to attract love to you, that's very different. That's very different from trying to put a love spell on somebody. And Wu is right, and the reason is because you want people to be consenting. Yeah. Different spirits will have their different ways of getting in touch with you. Some of them will have, like David will put a song in my head. Sometimes he'll do other little mischievous things, though. Sometimes he's a rat, not a real rat. Don't do that, Dave. No, don't. Please. I don't want any rats in here. I'm telling you. You show up as a rat, something bad is likely to happen to you. I may be unfriendly. Um, but yeah, sometimes he can be. He has a sense of humor. Of course he does, because I do. They have sense of humor just like they did before they died. Yeah, you want the person who comes to you, you want your love to come because it's meant to be, not because you put a spell on them. Um, I don't, I don't recommend putting spells on people without their consent. It can go bad, it can go wrong, and just for the reason that Wu said. So, yeah. There's a few things. It's kind of like hygiene, you know. You want to do it cleanly. You don't want to make problems for yourself or others. Some types of spells will make problems for yourself and others if you F it up. Oh my gosh. I can't even tell you the number of times I've heard of people accidentally putting spells on themselves and not realizing that they're doing it even. Putting spells on themselves by putting a spell on somebody else and they're part of it somehow, and they're actually putting a spell on themselves, and it's like, oh my god, can that cause problems? Like some people who think they're in love with somebody, and so they do some kind of thing involving the both of them, but then they realize they don't really want that person, and now they're attached somehow. And it's like, oh shit! Now you've got to detach yourself, you know, that kind of thing. Or there's other things, you know. There's things I've seen. It's like it's not worth it. It is a good thing. Just to call your love into your life. To call love into your life. That's okay. Ooh. Oh, they're not moving my, yeah, Wu is right about that. Well, I'll tell you what will happen in some cases. This is also what I've seen happen. I have seen people, and they didn't listen to me. I told them what to do, but they didn't listen. They did not do it right. I said, okay, you want to get, there was somebody who said she wanted this guy to give her attention. She wanted to just get his attention. She really liked him. And she said, you know, she was going to be careful and yada yada. I said, well, okay, but be careful because if you do this wrong, and of course she did it wrong. She didn't listen good enough. And the way she described what she actually did, I said, you'll be lucky if he doesn't hate you for life, if you haven't made an enemy for life. Now, the other thing is, if it works for a while, but then gets broken, once a spell breaks, this has been my experience, once a spell breaks, particularly a love spell, you hate the person. You can't stand them. You just loathe them. It goes exactly the opposite way. It's one of the ways I know that there was a spell on me, is if the person I'm interested for a while and I can't figure out why I'm interested, that's one red flag. I'm like, okay, that's odd. And then when I say, if it's a spell and I break it, then I feel like, God, I can't stand the person now. That can happen. So in order to avoid these things, but I've had that happen more than one time, and it was like, oh God, now the person is just completely abhorrent to me. And I've seen it in other cases too, where the person it's exactly the opposite. So, watch out for that. Yeah, just some friendly advice. I mean, there are black practitioners, there are dark practitioners that do things and get by with things for a while because they're, calling on entities and they're, finding loopholes, using loopholes to get around things and so on and so forth. But to me, it's not worth it. I would rather somebody honestly love me for myself and because they're the right person for me. I mean, I really think that your guides have a better idea, probably have a much better idea of what you need in a mate than you do. Very often we have no clue what would really make us happy. And so I always give the universe some wiggle room to bring me what is really going to make me happy. I would say, of course, for the highest and best. And what's really going to do the job here and really going to give me what I desire, you know, to avoid that. Because you got to think about that. Oh, yeah, single is great. Single is great. I'm sorry. But if you found the love of your life, more power to you. Congratulations. I would have loved to have it like that. But in lieu of that, single is great because being hooked to the wrong person is horrible. It's absolutely hellish. It can be the worst hell. Being hooked to somebody you shouldn't be hooked to, that you really, I would rather be alone. I have said this many times. If I can't find somebody that's going to add to my happiness and my security and my value and my, blah, 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 all of that, if it's not going to better my life, all of that, then I don't want it. Because I can be miserable all by myself. I don't need any help to be miserable. I can figure out how to do that. I sure can. So if in any way you're making me miserable, you're not worth it. You're not worth my time. If there is any misery to the situation, I don't see any reason to have you around. Yeah. I mean, why? For convention's sake? Sure don't matter to me. I'll be just fine. Well, low standards. Yeah, lowering your standards can guarantee you, I mean, from time to time you might change them. But yeah, it's like there's certain things that I mean, like I said, to me, anything that's going to make me miserable is out. I'm not interested in you. Doesn't matter how cute you are, how much money you got, how connected you are. Because if I have to be miserable when I'm around you, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. Went out with a guy for a little while, and I really tried. Really did. And now I look back on it, it's like, why did I even do that? He was an angry person. And I'm like, God, I tried to understand him, I tried to help him, and it wasn't working. And I finally just said, well, okay then. It's time for us to call it quits. And he'd keep trying to come back, and I moved and didn't tell him where I went. Moved and didn't get in touch with him. And got a new number. And never saw him again. So I will disappear out of your life. If you're giving me too much grief, I will ghost you. Yeah, there's some people that are very possessive. Even after they don't want you anymore, they still want you. You're still theirs somehow. Yeah, after you're long gone, but you're still theirs somehow. That just, you gotta watch. Scorpios that are not in balance are very possessive that way. Yeah, Scorpio, that's a thing. Real thing I notice with Scorpios. You always belong to them. They always figure you belong to them forever. somehow. They don't detach. It's because they're so emotional. So, if they're very emotional people, you may have just gained yourself a barnacle. They may not want to detach when you want to detach. And that's rough. Right. Yep. Rickroll. Oh, woo writers. Well, here's the thing about a Scorpio. Very deep feelings. Either your worst enemy or your best friend, or both at the same time. Very deep feelings. Um, if they love you, they'll do anything for you. They can be very, 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 very focused on a goal. Once they're focused on that goal, they're like a badger. They are focused on that goal. And this is where Sagittarians fall awry. Is, if we fall in love, quite often a Scorpio and a Sagittarian will fall in love because they see admirable things about each other, things that the other one doesn't have. Doesn't come easy to the other one. And they admire these traits in each other. Because the Sagittarian, it's very hard for us to focus on one thing and just pursue it until we get it. But that is like the hallmark of Scorpio. Yeah. Um, Sages, a lot of times what I find Scorpios become a little envious of the Sag's ability to just not overthink it, just walk in and do it. Like, I would go to a performance, I would, of course, rehearse. When I was doing singing telegrams, I'd rehearse. I'd, make sure I had all my ducks in a row, but then I'd just go wing it. I would not get this crazy amount. Every Scorpio I ever knew had performance anxiety type stuff. If they had to do something, if they had to do, they were actually obnoxious beforehand. They would get so obnoxious and overthink it and go nuts, you know, practicing what they were going to say, and just, it was so hard on them to do that. Whereas a Sag will just, and then they'll just walk in and do it, and what sticks, sticks, and what don't, and, just let it fly. But what's hard for us is narrowing down to a thing that we want and then going after it until we get it. Instead, we don't get it after a while. We go, fuck that, boom, and we point in another direction and shoot. Scorpios are extremely stick-to-itive. My husband pursued me for years, literally. Sagittarians love fairness. I will let you know. Sagittarians love things to be fair. They really do. Another thing about a Sag, they'll know the very best places to eat. Really. They'll know where to get the best deals on everything. They'll know the coolest places to go for entertainment. That's the kind when it comes to being a bon vivant, when it comes to the good life, you're Sag friend will know how to get that. Okay? Because Sagittarius like a good life. They like their coffee to be the way they want their coffee to be. They like their um, a certain amount of excitement and fun. They know where to find it, and they know where to find it for the best price. They'll do their shopping. They're very good at shopping for things, whether it's a house or a car or the best pizza, whatever. Your Sag will know. It's like me. I could help people shop real easy. It's like, oh, you want that? You want that you want the cheapest and best quality? I know exactly where to find that. I always do. I can always find the cheapest and the best deal on anything. So, oh, and yeah, the Sages usually are fun. They like fun. And Scorpios like fun too. They like fun, but they're a little bit more, well, like I said, if you insult a Scorp, it goes deep. So don't insult Scorpios. It goes really deep with them. Be gentle. Do Scorpio and Leo's vibe good? Well, it depends on what else is going on in your chart. But Scorpio is very emotional. It's like, as long as you're aware that Leos must be the king or queen. If you let Leos be the king or queen, then you can get along with them. If you can't do that, you can't get along with them. You have to let them feel that they're in charge. Okay? And that could be a problem sometimes. I can see where that might run into some problems, but actually it could be okay. I'm fun. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Sagittarius, they love fun. They have a good sense of humor. They generally, now this is not across the board because there can be other factors in there. They love to have a good time. Party. Some of them turn into party animals real easy, but they like things to be fair. And they're interested in lots of things. Your Sag friend will be interested in all kinds of things. They'll know all kinds of different things from just everywhere because they've just been shooting an arrow here and shooting an arrow there. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, they'll know a lot of different disparate things. They'll be the type to be an eclectic. They'll decorate their place eclectic. That's a very big word. Cancer moon. See, I have a Cancer moon too. And that is as Cancer as it gets, is having your moon in Cancer. It makes it very strong. Cancer is very emotional too, another very watery sign. It's a water sign. It's a very moody kind of misty, moody, can get into moods. You got to be careful with that. I can do that. I can have my moods. Like, I can get into that misty, moody, hurt my feelings real easy. People, like, I know I've had astrologers go, "You're Sagittarius. How did that ever hurt your feelings?" Sagittarius don't get their feelings hurt easily. What's going on with you? And I say, I have a Cancer moon there. Oh, okay. Say no more. Cancer moon. Cancer moon. You got to get over getting your feelings hurt because your feelings are going to be hurt a lot if you're not really careful. What in the hell is going on here? I got this big lump in the seat here. Okay.
Um, boy, hope it's not a ghost. No. David? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, Cancer Moon, empath, have to learn not to pick up on everybody else's shit. Um, and the full moons will really affect you. Oh yeah, Sagittarius want to do everything. They usually have they say actually can be not just the jack of all trades but the master of all trades. They can actually be master of several different trades at one time. Now, they're the kind that do fabulous crochet while they're, doing acrylic paintings and, you know, um, as far as art, and some of them are very into sports. They tend to be quite competitive. Some Sagittarians are really, really into sports. I'm not at all, but some of them are. And when they do, they're very competitive. Samantha. Ah. Libra moon. Yeah, equality. Now, see, the thing that Libra has in common with the Sag is we like things to be uh, fair and equal. See, we can really agree on that. We like things to be nice and fair and equal, you know. Oh, that's cool. Samantha, like Samantha and Bewitched. Anyway, I noticed that we have a big cluster of Sages and Scorpios in here. And the new sign Ophiuchus. Some of you are Ophiuchus. Some of you don't realize that you're not really Scorpios or Sagittarians, or you are, but you're also an Ophiuchus. Because Ophiuchus is the sign between Scorpio and Sag. So if you're born like late Scorpio, early Sag, you're probably an Ophiuchus. And I'm born early Sag, so I'm an Ophiuchus. And that gives you a whole different level of complexity right there. That's the serpent handler, the snake handler. So we're the ones that yeah. Ophiuchus can handle deadly situations, honestly. Yeah. I mean, I'm told that that's where, and Ophiuchus is the type that can have a lot of these near-death things happen and just get through it. Like, the difficult situations and just somehow be able to wrangle that just like a snake wrangler. So they tend to be problem solvers. Ophiuchus is in between Scorpio and Sagittarius, so it's sometime like November, or it's right around now. It's like right in the vicinity of like I think it starts at the end of this month, and yeah, but it's right between Scorpio and Sag. It has a little bit like both of them.
but tendency towards it's a very magical sign. It was one of the ones that's dropped out, so you know it's probably important because it's one of the ones that was dropped out. Yeah. Or actually, it was the sign that was dropped out of the zodiac, out of the tropical zodiac. It start November 25th, yeah. Well, I don't remember when it actually starts. I gotta look again. We didn't know anything about it until the New Age, until the new millennium. That's when it started to become a known thing again. Back when we had 13 months in the year, 13 moons, we have 13, 13 moons but 12 signs. It doesn't make sense. We should have 13 moons and 13 signs. Ophiuchus is the 13th sign. The one that they didn't want you to know about. So it's worth a read to read about Ophiuchus. But I'm in that time period. I'm the 9th, December 9th. So yep. I'm a Sag, but I'm also an Ophiuchus. Yeah, they might be. Actually, you know what? That kind of sounds right too. Taurus is my experience with Tauruses. I had a boyfriend who was a Taurus. Nice guy. Really weird, but nice. Very stubborn. Very, very stubborn. The thing about Taurus, almost all of them that I've met have a dead pet in the refrigerator waiting to be, in the freezer waiting to be buried somehow. Every one of them that I've met has a dead pet in the freezer waiting for a time for a proper funeral. I mean, there was this one woman, and she had a couple of fish that were waiting in the freezer to be, and I'm thinking, yeah, I can see somebody staying over at her house looking at it going, wondering if this was supposed to be dinner. But yeah, another guy had dead weasel in his freezer waiting to be buried. They never get around to burying him. Oh my goodness. So they have this tendency to be real, almost overly respectful of their dead pets, and want to bury them, but they don't get around to it somehow. It's very weird. Yeah. Uh, Hi. Oh, gee, I don't know if I can say your name. Austinus Animus. Hello. Well, thank you, Brooke. I'm glad to meet a Taurus with no dead pets in the freezer. Thank you. For a while there, I was beginning to wonder about, are they all got a little Jeffrey Dahmer in them there? What's going on here? But it was weird. It was like every one of them. And I'm like, ah. Yeah. Well, I've told you before. He's the one who told me he was a lizard. He was a Taurus, and he was a lizard. Yeah, he's the one who told me right out he was actually a lizard. I'm there like, okay, you sure that the weasel in the freezer is not a snack? Late night snack, saving it. No, I never said that to him. He was actually very nice, but weird. Very nice guy. He was a nice lizard. Yeah, yeah. I, I couldn't. I couldn't. Um, Ustinus, or Ustinus. Close, but do you like astrology? Well, I kind of have to know it, being that, the kind of life that I'm a shaman, a shamanic practitioner. I kind of have to know it's part of the deal. You have to know. It helps. Astrology helps you figure out things. It's really, so many things are based on astrology. Even the Bible, flat out astrology in there. If somebody tries to tell you different, it's bullshit. So many things that are obviously astrology. Yeah, he's some kind of reptilian. He was. I think he was the Terran kind, though. So, in primal astrology, oh, okay, well, I don't know anything about primal astrology. I'll have to look that up. I think I'll just call you Animus to avoid completely screwing up your first name. Um, you thought you had an interesting dating history. Yeah. Yeah, primal astrology. I don't know anything about it. That's quite intriguing. Do tell. I'm going to have to look that up. Oh, yeah. I've had some very interesting dates. I don't know what it is about me, but I would draw the most unusual people. Baby. Oh, yeah, I think I do know a little bit, though. I'm one of the people who can actually handle the very unusual people. You know, like most people have trouble with them. Most people, as soon as they say, "Oh yeah, my dead pet's in the freezer," they're like, you know. But I'm like, "Oh really? Well, what do you plan to do with that?" "Oh well, I want to bury it, but I just never have had the time." And it's like, "Oh okay, typical story." But yeah, for some reason, I have a very high tolerance for weird. I think that's part of it. I'm not necessarily put off if you're a little weird. If you're dangerous weird, that's different. But I have met some people who are very weird that are dangerous too, though, that I had to get away from for some reason. And I think possibly because when I was younger, I was pretty fearless. I was pretty fearless, and I don't think
Yeah, I remember one guy was actually a very scary guy. But I always had faith in myself to be able to get away from him. I mean, I could be scary. I could be scary. There was a point at which, if I needed to be, I could be very scary, boys and girls. I scare the bejesus out of you intentionally to get you up off of me, out of my face. I scare the crap out of you. I've done it before. You were microchipped like a dog? What? Oh, that's horrible, Animus. Oh, Lord. That's awful. Yeah, I mean, most people can't handle most people can't handle it, but it just didn't bother me because I guess because I was around so many weird people. I just had situations that put me in touch with so many weird people that I learned to just be kind of blasé about it until they show me that they're kind of dangerous, and then I'm out of there. But but the thing is that he could be such a nice individual, but also very logical at the same time. He could be he was depressed. I think he was kind of depressed, but he was very logical. Now Bob was another one, my ex-husband, another very odd person in some respects. Um, he had been a blue baby. He had uh, a rare disease. He had some interesting features. Physically, he was different. Like, for instance, the joints of his body and stuff were different. And I used to tease him and say, "You're probably as close to marrying an alien as I'm going to get, aren't you?" Oh, little did I know. I think he really might have been, and just didn't tell me. Or maybe he didn't even know it himself. But whatever it was that he was, I always kept feeling like he was some kind of aquatic being. I was probably right about that. Because of the way he could swim. He could swim like nobody's business. Because he could put his feet straight down. That was something that you try to do that. Try to lay on your back. A normal human, lay on your back. Try to that is in martial arts, self-defense class and everything. That is an exercise to try to touch your toes to the ground while keeping your legs straight while you're on your back. And he could do that. He could just go boom. It was like really weird the way that his body was built. So, um, I still think he was an alien of some sort. Yeah, psycho weird. Yeah, let me out. Yeah, in order to know when to leave. Yeah, exactly. My gut. Yeah. Oh dear, Animus. Endless money. So he lives like a lower class citizen, but he has a ton of money and multiple homes. Yeah. You know what? Mine worked for the government finding people.
And so, yeah, I I was in that situation. I think he's given up now, but I don't think he's checking on me. He would be retired now, so he wouldn't have the same tools as when he was working. But he's probably given up on me now. But yeah, I could feel him checking up on me. Now he tries to do it psychically too. I taught him magic. Like a fool, I taught him magic. Like a fool. I was so foolish. I should never have taught him that. Yep. Yeah. It does sound like a stalker. Because it is. There's a few signs that'll turn into stalkers. And actually, Taurus is one that can turn into a stalker pretty easy. And so is a Scorp, can turn into a stalker because they're very single-minded. And so please beware and be careful of that. Don't do that. That'll just drive the person crazy, because my ex was, he was on my case until he got me. He was like, had to check into me, know everything about me, and so was the guy, like I said, so was the Taurus guy. He had to know everything about me. He checked up on me. He stalked me for a while. I didn't know. You're just the Taurus who's been stalked. But, I don't know. I guess I would fascinate people. I guess I have I would get a lot of times. I would get the things you say. I've never known anybody like you. I'm like, I'll take it as a compliment. But I'm pretty strange too. I mean, I'm kind of I'm kind of strange because I mean, look at what I do. I'm doing this. Is it normal? I don't know. Would you call that normal? A girl who talks to spirits and trees and fairies and dragons and, has conversations with her cat, and the cat answers, don't you? It was funny. My one neighbor came over one time, and I had this whole conversation with my cat because my cat wanted to jump over where there were knives on the table. And I was telling her, no, you can't jump over there. There are knives there, you're going to cut. And she's like, wah, wah, wah. And I'm like, no, you can't, though. It's dangerous. You could get hurt. And she's like, oh, And my neighbor's looking at me like, did I just see you have a conversation with the cat? It's like, yeah, what's weird about that? So, I guess maybe that's part of it. I'm very tolerant because I realize that I'm a freak in some regards. I must look like a freak to some people in that regard, because I'm an unusual person too. I probably scare some people and fascinate others. Meow! Is that the way you talk to your mom? You can talk to me. It's okay, son. Hey, baby. Baby cat, you can talk to me that way. Sometimes you gotta let your freak flag fly. And I have a tendency to let mine fly more often than most people, and that's probably how I get in trouble. Mm. Oh dear, my chat's frozen again over there. Yeah, hang on. I can tell that chat's moved on and it's not letting me see it. Uh-huh, see, a whole bunch of chats gone by. Right, there you go. Okay, I'm just the Taurus that has been stalked was the last thing I saw. Okay, woo writers. Yeah, they always seem to be really successful, are the ones that, the narcissists. Yep, narcissists. And narcissists and psychopaths, why? They don't care they don't have the conscience problem. They feel that they're entitled. They feel entitled. Oh yeah, Maui. hmm We used to have some long conversations. She's quite a talker, that one. Yeah, well, Maui almost did that in my head. I could hear her. Other people couldn't. Well, I would answer it this way. There are a lot of things that as we that have been blocked to us because of our beliefs and the beliefs and the conditioning that we've had. Um, so in that regard, I would say yes. As a matter of fact, they went through a period when they were stamping out all the psychic people or anybody unusual that they could find. They called them witches, or burning them right and left. Um, Anybody with any gifts so it was pretty scary to be gifted that way for a long time, and then they normalized being blind, deaf, and dumb to spirit world, and probably so we couldn't get any extra information and keep us as stupid as possible, as ignorant. Ah, she's a black cat. You got a void. You got a pet void. They're calling them voids now. Yeah, entitled, exactly. Hi again, Mary.
Yeah, there is a sense of entitlement. And they don't feel bad about doing whatever to get whatever they want. Not a bit bad about it. Like some of us would think twice and be thinking, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. It might hurt somebody. Well, I don't care. I don't think so. I don't think Enlil is the one, no. I think Enlil might even have been the serpent in the Garden of Eden that was trying to give us the knowledge of good and evil. It was actually trying to give us knowledge. I think. Oh, wait a minute. You said Enlil, not Inky. Inky's the serpent. You're right, Enlil. Let me get my Anunnaki all crossed up there, Lewis. Sorry about that. You're right. Probably was Enlil. Wanted us to be stupid. Let's put whoever it was in power. Let's put it that way. It probably wasn't Enlil's family. But because war gods, because, anything outside of, if you're a war god, then what's going to be, look at our military. Look at our military. They don't want us to know anything. Everything's on a need to know basis, right? And as far as they're concerned, we don't need to know anything. So yeah, that would fit. That would exactly fit Lewis, actually. If that whole system is descended from that, yeah, that could be the influence right there. Why we're not allowed to know anything. Pardon me for getting that confused. And I'm not sure either one of them are that wonderful. I think Enlil, it sounds like Inky was probably better. But to me, the Anunnaki seem like deadbeat parents. Kind of deadbeat parents that just go around seeding the galaxy for their own ends and means and just leave you there. Leave them there and they'll grow up eventually, So like we're Generation X, okay? We are the Generation X of the Anunnaki because how Generation X are always saying, well, parents wanted to have you, but they didn't want to take you. They didn't want to look after you too much, So, yeah, narcissists make their way to the top. And psychopaths and psychotics make their way to the top because they just don't have the limiters. Yeah, humanity would revolt. It's true. It's true. Yep, you were one of those superheroes, weren't you? Me too. Yeah, you're a superhero, woo. Superhero type. Yeah, it is. It is a shallow life, and some of them don't like it. Some of them that know that they are narcissists actually are. There are a few of them that are actually kind of pissed off
that they are missing something. They feel like they're missing something that they should have, that we have and they don't. Kind of pisses them off. Some of them, though, understand that how destructive they can be. And that it's not a good thing for society in general, and therefore not a good thing for themselves either, really, in the long run. And that's usually the only thing. Some of them try to be better. They try to be... But they're kind of missing a component. Actually, they are kind of missing a component. Yeah, grasping depth, that's probably... You know what? I went through that. There were there were certain words I couldn't say, Mary. I couldn't type in a chat. If I type those words, they just disappear. Yeah. Uh, Usually they learn how to be that way from somebody else, though. In a narcissist case, it's often conditioning by a member of the family or somebody. No, I don't envy them. I do not envy some of these people. Like, I know it must be very difficult to be... I would expect that a lot of these people are not even human. That a lot of narcissists are not even really human. Like, their spirit isn't. Yeah, because the sports dudes are not into that usually. Sports dudes are usually into sports and the physical side of life. To have one that's into the metaphysical stuff is really unusual, yeah. Well, and I was a, metaphysical gamer, dungeon mistress for D&D, but I was into weightlifting for a while. I was very strong. I could press 600 pounds. Really. I am a strong little thing. I am, really. I was really strong when I was a kid, too. I would carry very heavy things around. People would just look at me like, what the hell? I might be able to do it to this day. I don't know. I bet you I probably could do it with my legs. I probably could press 600 pounds with my legs still. I bet I could. I don't know if I could do it with my arms anymore. My arms are so jacked up by certain things that have happened that I wouldn't want to try right now. I'd have to build up to it. I probably could do it again, though. I have been very strong my whole life. I mean, I honestly, if I didn't have my back jacked up, there's so many things I could do that would just amaze people. Because I can just take, like, Yolanda, and she's fit and she's thin and she's she's actually fairly strong and kind of tall, but she cannot do what I do. I can like grab a bookcase with the book still in it and just move it. I don't always have to take the books and stuff out. She's like, yeah, just so and just walk it, walk it a bit, just good. She's looking at me moving this thing. I say I could use a little help to make sure it doesn't tip. Or on a nice slick floor, I can just take things and people just look at me like, did she really just do that? I can barely lift the toddler. Um, well, anyone ever had black pepper sliced turkey? Oh, yeah. Actually, there's a place where you can get that in cold cuts. It's pretty good, actually. I can't lift things from the floor anymore. I can move things around. I cannot lift things much anymore because of the back. So I would not be able to lift a toddler or do anything like that without hurting myself. But actually, if I sit down in my rollator, I can just move extremely heavy objects around. And once I plant myself, I can do that. I probably would be quite impressive. Like I said, I'd probably be quite impressive if it wasn't for that. I guess I used to be. That's probably another thing. That's probably another reason why I was kind of interesting. It's like, who is this chick? you know? And I knew martial arts, and I knew I was a spotter for a self-defense class. I'm not as good at it now, but that only makes me more dangerous. Because if you're not as good at it, you don't have any control and you might really hurt somebody. And so I really shy away from ever doing any of it. If it would save my life, I would, but I don't. I'd have to practice before I feel good about ever going into it again. I would definitely need to practice up because you're actually dangerous in that case because you got the moves, but you don't have the control in it. You really hurt somebody or yourself. Even if you know the moves, you can. I could still throw somebody through a wall if I had to. That's good enough. I could get out of it. I could do a break hold. I could throw somebody through a wall. That's probably good enough. Oh, that sounds good, Woo Riders. I like Snicker bars, Snicker bar ice cream. With a caramel and nuts and chocolate. I met Robin, I think it was on Paranormal Portal. Or it was through Duke, which might have then been SOR. It was one of those two. I think it was SOR. I think it was through Duke. Yeah, I think it was through Duke. Come to think of it, yeah, it was through Duke, who used to go to SOR all the time. Yeah, Super Duke. Because I started having phenomena, and I said, who can I talk to? Well, you can talk to Robin. So I think it was, but I'm not sure. It's been a long, long time. Yeah, I like Duke. He's okay. He's basically a good guy. Yeah, I had Robin's husband on too. Although I guess they're not together anymore. But both of them were researching. I know a smattering of different kind of, like I said, I talked to, I mind speak Sasquatch. Yeah, maybe that's why I'm so tolerant, is because I know I must seem really, really weird to some people. I mind speak Sasquatch. I talk in light language. I talk to my pets, they answer. I I go out and work on storms to calm them down. I not to mention I do card readings and psychic readings, and I mean all of the stuff, all of the weird stuff I do. Yeah, I guess I just I guess here, Brooke, I guess right here. Uh, Hopefully we draw in that as a tribe here. Welcome to the tribe. Uh, One of the reasons I got this channel is so I could find people like that. Hoping they would be drawn to this channel. Because, yeah, I have trouble finding them that they're not woke or something. Some other weird thing. I mean, I've had people on here that unfortunately are kind of woke, and they're like, I'm like, I have trouble with it after a while. I mean, I'm very tolerant for a while, but then eventually they try to get the vegetarianism, they become, the vegan vegetarian shit comes out, and it's like, I'm sorry, I already been through that. I've been through all that. I've been through all the existential crap too that goes with the fact that human beings are the only species on the face of the earth, probably. I mean, the only animal that worries about what it, is conflicted about what to eat. Every other animal just eats. Doesn't sit there and go into what, the morality of it. Humans think about it. They think about it. They're like conflicted about it. It's like, I don't want to go into it too much. Unfortunately, it seems like for some of us, eating meat is the healthiest path. For some people, it is the path they got to go down. For other people, they can get by on a vegetarian diet. They can do it as long as they take their B12 and stuff. Some people can't do it. I'm one. I've gotten sick twice trying to follow that kind of a diet. Yeah. Oh, probably they are. I think it's going to get better when people realize the world is not going to come to the end because Donald Trump is president. That, that he's not really going to become a dictator and start lining people up against the wall and shooting them. That's not really what's going to happen. Yeah, they either start going with the human beings are a pox on the surface of the earth. I cannot go with that. I can't. We're supposed to be here, or we wouldn't be here. We're supposed to be here. We could be one of the best things that ever happened. And I believe that is our destiny. And humans will do extraordinarily altruistic things. They will rescue people, pets, from a burning building or from at great risk of their life, from some danger, risking their own life for no pay. People do that all the time. All the time. They will help each other out in very generous ways. They will also do some horrible things. But people can be extremely beneficent. And I think we need to concentrate on that and not be self-degrading and self-depreciating and self-loathing. And it seems like a lot of the wokies want you to be self-loathing. You ever notice that? In some way, shape, or form. They want you to be self-loathing. And it's like, fuck you. I'm not going to do that. Yeah, that's right. We are the champions. We are the champions, my friend. Thank you, Mary. Yeah, I get myself in trouble sometimes because I try to love everybody. I try to go to love first. If they don't let me do that, then we might go on to some other things. But I try to be loving first. And I try that first. If that doesn't work, then maybe we have to go on past that. Yeah, I know how woke and oh my God, how much can I virtue signal? I cannot take it. I cannot take it. I cannot hang with them. Only a little while. I can only hang a little while. And then after that, I just eventually, there was somebody who used to come on here. She used to always try and lead me down this path where, you should eat this way, you shouldn't eat meat, we should be more this and humans are that and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no, I can't agree. Sorry. I cannot agree. This is not for everybody. I'm so glad you found your way, and I really applaud you for going your way and you going your own way and all that. I cannot go that way. Don't expect me to. Me too. Me too. Eventually, though, they just get a little weird. It's like sooner or later, they come out with this weird shit. Even some of the psychics, they come out with this You know, and especially they cannot see that they got TDS. You've got TDS, dude. You're listening to mainstream. You know better. You know they're lying. You know they lie all the time. If you're not, you should know that. You know, I think a lot of us, it's going to be different. With Gen Z, it's going to be different because they grew up realizing you can't trust people because they grew up with the internet. So they're going to be the ones that are going to be there like, oh, really? Well, let me see some proof of that. Because there's so much bullshit on the internet, and they know that. So they know that there are a lot of people in the world that want to give you a bunch of bullshit, and you should always check things out. So generally, in general, Z is going to be the generation that's really going to be rooting out some of this stuff that ain't real. It's going to be like, why? Why should we do this? Why should we do that? Who's trying to trick us now? And how are they trying to trick us? Because, I mean, they played a lot of these video games, too, which are very deceptive. You know, and they're always trying to sell you something. And if you do it wrong, you can kind of fall in a trap. So they're very aware that there are traps out there. So they're going to be the ones that are going to be like, I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if I believe that that's really the right thing, that I'm being told the right thing. Wonderful, Woo Writers. I am so glad. Yes. That's what got him in trouble before. Hope it doesn't get him another attempt. Really, we've got to intend that he is protected, honestly. This guy, he's coming up with things that are very threatening to some people. The chrome must flow like the spice. It's like the spice, I swear. Remember in Dune, the spice must flow. They'll do anything to get that chrome to flow. And the way it's flowing is open borders and the trafficking cartels. And if the spice stops flowing, you are now public enemy number one. Yikes. Thank you, Brooke. Me too. You know, I can go into some of these groups and they just kind of, I mean, the closest we got here is like a spiritualist church. I can go to a spiritualist church, but I can only go so far into a spiritualist church because they've still got these specific codifications that, you know, about the rules about getting messages from spirit and so on and so forth, and some of them are just not realistic for me. I hope so, Woo. And I hope that our leader-to-be lives to fulfill that mission. Because I think that's going to crumble so many things. We have entirely too many The swamp is deep. But yeah, I think Washington is going to start throwing it in. Okay, you've got the elites. They're going to throw each other under the bus. The so-called elites. They're going to turn on each other because that's what they do. You know, they don't want to. They don't want to have to pay for what they've done. They'll turn on each other. Well, you're free to hang out here until you're ready. And hopefully we'll be attracting more. I see things opening up next year more. I think by next year, maybe, probably take at least 6 months to sandblast some of the crap out. At least. But by the same time next year, I think things will be looking better. Maybe a lot more of us will find us because maybe the censorship will ease up. Without these people holding the reins. Here we go again. Maybe I'm tweaking somebody's feelings. I don't know. Maybe I'm saying some things that are bothering some folks. Your time's over, folks. Might as well just give it up. You're not going to be able to do this shit for much longer. It's not going to work. Me too. I would like to meet some people in person. Like our friends and family, star brothers and sisters, who would love to meet us. Well, it's nice to know that they are anxious to meet us in person one day. That'll be cool. I keep getting this thing that I keep getting the feeling they want to be very, very careful how they do it, though. They really don't want to scare us. I think some of them look very, very different. You know, like maybe kind of scary looking, or what we would think of as scary looking. Although, I've seen what people actually, I've seen so far a mantis, a reptilian, well, I've seen all kinds of things in people's auras. So, but then again, seeing one physically is all different. What, kitty? What, baby? What? What's on your mind, Mr. Mewcake? What? And I've seen some that look like cats. They look like kitty cats. Want to come up with Mom? Want to come up with Mommy? Little boy. Come on, sweet boy. What are you worried about? You're worried about something. What are you worried about, honey? Is there something in here? Is there something in here Mom ain't noticing? What? He's upset about something. You don't talk to me quite like Maui used to. I'm not getting the same kind of pictures in my head, unfortunately, with you. I'm not hearing a voice. Come on. Come on. Sometimes I get with him, I don't have the same rapport I had with Maui. Um, I get general feelings sometimes, and you know, like I can kind of get an idea, but not like it was with Mao. Mao actually talked in words sometimes in my head, so I don't know. I don't know, Mary. I don't know about Arizona. It's very dry, isn't it? Not. Where are you going to get the water? Of course, I'd be turning the desert green. What are you doing, Mr. Mewen? What you doing, Mr. Mewen? You want to play with Mommy's pendulum? You think the pendulum's pretty? He loves jewelry and stuff. He absolutely loves it. He loves my stones and my pendulum. He loves to play with them. He's loving this pendulum right now. He's thinking it's just the best cat toy. Yes, you'd have it chased under the door of the utility room, wouldn't you? Mm-hmm. In your secret stash. Yeah, I know. I know you. Oh, it's like that here. Why don't you come up here where it's a little bit greener? You don't have to come where it's actually cold. There are parts of Ohio that are fairly warm most of the year. I'm thinking of moving there. There are parts of southern Ohio that are beautiful and don't really experience a cold winter. Like, not real cold. And there's pyramids down there, I just know it, and there's Indian mounds. Although we got Indian mounds up here too. It's getting warmer here. I think eventually this will be a much warmer area than it used to be. Well, Ohio's got tons of foliage in nature. We have literally, I mean, we are green as green can be. I mean, as far as, you know, with a lot of water. We have a lot of water in Ohio. Water airways. In my part, anyway, northeast Ohio. If you can stand that it gets cold part of the year. But, yeah, we have, like, geez, everywhere you go that's not in a city is just covered with forests and lots of plants, animals. Here in my area, we have wildlife just walking through the yards all the time. You know, deer, geese, raccoons, chipmunks, squirrels, rabbits, all kinds of birds, hawks, all kinds of things, possums, everything. All kinds of things, even a coyote or two. Fox. Really? Well, we got rain.
And a lot of supernatural stuff, that's true. There's a lot of supernatural stuff going on. Really? You like rain and overcast day? Oh, you should come visit Ohio. Absolutely. Oh, rain all the freaking yeah, it's just we have periods when it's raining all the time or it's overcast. I like overcast days. I actually like it to be kind of overcast. It feels great. The sun gets too bright for me sometimes. I actually love a nice overcast day. I love a good thunderstorm. We have wonderful thunderstorms, and the only thing we have tornadoes once in a while, but I can take care of tornadoes. I can calm them down, and I protect my area from those, so I'm not worried about those. We don't have earthquakes. We have like secondary tremors is all we ever feel here. We never get like a full-fledged earthquake here. Um, we do get sometimes cold weather, ice and snow, but most of the time, it's rain, you know. Yeah, so if you can stand that, and then in summer, in the spring, it starts to get green, and it stays green. Now the trees have finally lost their leaves. Finally now, in November. But the lawns are still green. The trees have lost their leaves, but we still have a lot of green plants around here. And a lot of things will stay green through December. So, up until it starts to snow. And some things will even stay green after it snows. We've got some plants that just don't care. So, oh, you'd love Ohio. We have in the rainy season. You'd enjoy it then. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, you can come and visit. Tornado wrestling? No, I haven't. What exactly is that about? I protect my land from tornadoes. I protect my area from tornadoes. So we don't get anything too terribly destructive and certainly not fatal anymore around here. We haven't had anything fatal since I moved here. As far as and it's funny to listen to people say that. I heard one of the skeptical guys, one of these scientific guys, one time he was talking to somebody else and he was saying, I don't know what it is, but it's just for a long time now, for years and years, we've just never had a really terrible storm here. We've just never had really destructive or, nothing fatal. We've had floods, though. We do get flooded sometimes. It's the only thing. In some areas. It's only in some areas, though. There are some areas where we don't get flooded. Like this place is, the way that the land is, the trenches, we've got these ravines that hold, that where the water goes. So my place is not one to get flooded. There are some other places, though. If they're not built right, they'll get flooded right away. We have tons of water around here. Tons of fishing, tons of wildlife. Sasquatch playground, basically. Sasquatch love it around here.
Because when Duke was describing the kind of land that they like to live in, I'm there like, oh God, Ohio's perfect for them. This whole area here is just perfect. Plenty of game, plenty of wild spaces, plenty of trees. Cool. Interesting, Mary Winds. Ah. One side is void and the other does tornado wrestling. And will transport. Oh. With teleportation. What? You gonna be the one that helps us figure out the teleportation thing? That'll be fun, won't it? Yeah, let's put some intentions toward getting that teleportation thing ironed out so that we can use it, huh? That'd be fun. Ah, that sounds like a lot of fun. I'm told that we're going to have different ways to travel. That is coming right up. How fast this stuff comes depends on us. But that's going to be some of the new technology that we're going to have it as soon as we get past the notion that we have to do everything in this linear Euclidean manner. Then we get all kinds of wonderful stuff that we never dreamed we'd have. You know, that some people never dreamed we'd have, or try to say we never had, but we dreamed it, didn't we? We actually did dream it. And we dreamed it so it came into being. Because we could dream it. Mm-hmm. What? Now, see, he's definitely telling me that he wants to go to sleep. I know what he's saying. I've been on too long, and I'm not paying him enough attention, and we should be snuggling up and going to sleep now. I can tell because he gets antsy, he gets a certain look on his face, and he kind of sprawls there on the bed and just looks back at me like, well, you know, and he moves from this side to that side like, well, I should probably get some rest anyway. It's 1:52 here. It's almost 2 o'clock. And I got somebody coming over tomorrow, so I got shit to do, folks. So I gotta go off. But, you know, I love you. So, hey, if you're part of the tribe, you're part of the tribe. You're welcome. I look forward to seeing more of you, and I look forward to attracting more of us to this channel. Maybe some of them will actually be within reach, physical reach. So, love you guys. Maybe we'll find a main place somewhere that we can meet. I will tell you, though, there are some absolutely beautiful places in Ohio, which is very fertile ground. Ohio is a very fertile area. Lots of water.
Lots of water, lots of game. Everything you'd need to have a community. Resources, everything. There's even a place that has its own natural gas well. There's a trailer park, gaslight trailer park, that everybody gets free natural gas there. So we have places like that in Ohio. I don't know. Ohio may actually be one of the safer places. Only the very and in the disaster maps, only the very top of Ohio gets trashed in the doomsday map. Most of Ohio looks to be fine if we go by that map. So, Ohio might actually be a good place to be. It's not too far inland, not too far to the coast. It's right in the middle of there. I don't know. Maybe this is where I'm supposed to be, or just a different place here. Okay. Yep, love always wins, right? Love you, once again, love you guys. Hope to see you next time. I'm going to try and come on Friday at some point. We'll see. It's kind of catch as catch can. If not, I'll be back next Monday. But hopefully before that, we'll see how it goes. And you can get in touch with me. And it's in my description and stuff, how to get in touch with me. And most of you, I would let you have my phone number. But you'd have to shoot me an email first. Or something. I'll tell you what, we'll get a program with StreamYard, and then you can come backstage and we can exchange information back there without it being public. Okay. Love you all too, and truth is where we find it. Hope you're always finding some here. Aloha, my ohana. This is Ocean Making Waves. Now go make some of your own. See you next time.